Here are both of Helio's new phones, the Kickflip and the Hero. The Kickflip came out first, and we did an in-depth review of it at launch. It's a sleek little phone with lots of features and a cool spring-loaded hinge. But we held out to do a video until we could try out the Hero as well. The Hero is the larger of the two phones and is packed with power, while the smaller, sleeker Kickflip is designed for pure sex appeal. Launching their service with these two phones, Helio reminds us of that old Pet Shop Boys tune. I've got the brains, you've got the looks, let's make lots of money. Since we already reviewed the Kickflip on Phonescoop.com, we won't spend much time on the phone itself here. There's plenty of pictures and discussion of the phone in the article. Instead, we'll get to know the Hero. Where the Kickflip's face is clean with just a few buttons on the side, the Hero is loaded with buttons. On the front, there are shortcuts to the video and music libraries, and below the QVGA screen are the navigation and call buttons. The D-pad is surrounded by a ring of colored lights. On the left are the camera button, a volume settings button that looks like it starts the voice recorder, and the actual voice recorder button. There's hardware buttons for the voice recorder on both Helio phones. On the right are the memory card and headphone ports. There's also speakers on each side. Sliding the Hero open reveals a honeycomb-shaped keypad with large, easy-to-use keys. The layout takes some getting used to, but the keys feel good and eventually you adapt to it pretty well. Because the home screens and the main menus of the two phones are the same, it's easy to think that the software on the two phones are exactly the same too. But there are subtle differences. In most cases, the differences are only in looks, not functionality. The menus and screens of the Kickflip have a much more polished look to them. In this case, the contact list looks more organized, and as you scroll down the list, you see a preview of each contact at the bottom of the screen. The Hero's contact list looks more basic and doesn't give you much more than a name, even though once you go into a contact's entry, it still contains all the same fields. A few experiences are exactly the same between the two phones. They both have the same size screen and the same browser. So when you get online, everything looks exactly the same and you can do all the same things on both phones. You can see the browser has a weird menu that's unlike anything on any other phone, but at least it's the same between the two. In the media player, which plays both video and music, the Kickflip has the same preview window as the contact list, playing a mini version of tracks, including sound, in the list view. The Hero, meanwhile, just displays a list. It's not obvious how to control the Kickflip's media player just by looking at the screen. With the icons all in a row, you'd think you'd use the D-pad to scroll to a selection, but instead, each one is mapped to a direction on the D-pad. Additional controls are hidden in the menu, including the option to play a video full screen. Here's a few seconds of Everclear at full volume.
Lonely and dreaming of the West Coast.
The Hero packs a graphics chip for clearer, smoother video. Its media player clearly shows you what each direction on the D-pad does. The left soft key activates the full screen view. As you'll see once we shut up, the Hero is both louder and has a fuller sound than the Kickflip.
Lonely and dreaming of the West Coast. I don't wanna be your downside. I don't wanna be your stupid game.
The Hero's camera has clear on-screen controls, just like its media player, though they can be hidden for a better view of your subject. This 2-megapixel shooter has a lens cover and is held horizontally, just like a regular digital camera. Just about every function is mapped to one of the phone's many buttons, so you don't have to dig through the menus. If you forget which button does what, there's a handy on-screen guide. Since both the viewfinder and the sensor are horizontal, it's easy to accurately compose a picture. This is not the case with the Kickflip. The Hero also automatically saves a picture as soon as it's taken, whether the phone is open or closed. The Kickflip only does this when using the camera with the phone closed. One odd issue to note is that if the phone is open, the camera will not take a picture larger than 320 by 240. The Kickflip will take any size picture, no matter whether the phone is open or closed. Somewhere between the Kickflip and the Hero lies Helio's ultimate phone. Before the phones actually launched, we were under the impression that the software was the same, and the only decision you'd have to make was a very Apple-esque black or white. But after reviewing these phones, we realized it's really a decision between the performance of the Hero and the looks of the Kickflip. Or maybe it just comes down to that spring-loaded hinge.